Good afternoon YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be repairing a puncture on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Stay tuned, I'll show you how to do it. Now, this tyre's got about 5,000 miles, 5,200 miles on it, so just about 8,500 kilometres. It's fair to say that the tyre's seen better days, and I'm actually going to replace this tyre. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a little video about repairing the puncture, and then I'm going to order some new tyres, front and rear, for the bike. The Himalayan toolkit comes with a 24mm spanner, which is good because it fits the front and rear wheel. Now that might sound obvious, but it's actually not. A lot of motorcycle manufacturers have got different sizes front and back. It's a little bit tight. There we go. Once you start to crack that bead, it'll come off quite easily. So we want to just take this big nut off first. That's the first job. Just chop this little bolt out. Got a rubber mallet here, actually helps a little bit. This is actually well greased, well oiled, so it should come out quite easily. See how long this is? There we go. And the wheel's off. So you can see here you've got the rear sprocket. You want to take this off. Now this just slips straight off. It's got these little rubber inserts. You want to put the wheel this side down. You might obviously need to put it down on concrete, but if you can avoid it, try and put the wheel down on some kind of soft surface, even if it's just grass, and make sure that it's disc side up. If you can possibly avoid putting that down, that's better. You don't want to damage it. I can put a link in the description for these tyre irons. These are Amazon, they're quite good actually, they've got good handles and stuff on them. And they come with these rim protectors, which are really handy. You try and avoid scratching up the rim too much. Now, I don't know exactly where the puncture is on this. It's a screw that's gone in. I have a feeling that the inner tube might be completely destroyed. It happened fairly close to home. I had to roll the bike back a little bit, and I think it's probably damaged the inner tube. But I have a new inner tube just in case. So I've got this about halfway off now. Started up here, came this way slightly, and I'm just working my way around. It's a good idea just to keep relocating these as you work your way around. That's me going off all the way around on one side. Now, it's a bit awkward, but it's even worse getting it back on. So, I've just pushed the valve through here, and I'm going to pull the inner tube out from the valve. Right, so that's where the valve used to be. Oh wow, look at that. Let's just pull this out. I'm trying to do this one-handed with the camera. It's not so easy. Perfect. I've had a look at this inner tube that's come out. Now this puncture happened fairly close to home, but I wheeled the bike back, obviously carried it along in first gear, but that's been enough to destroy that inner tube, as I thought it might do. So I'm going to put this Mitchelin airstop inner tube in here. I'll just buy another spare one for the pannier. Let's crack on. I've made sure I run my hand inside, make sure there's nothing sharp in there. Not left anything in there that's going to cause another puncture. So let's crack on. You want to put a bit of air in there so you don't nick the tyre. Got the inner tube in, the valve's in, and now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put this back together again. And this little nut here will just help to hold it in place. We're about 2/3 of the way on. This bit here is going to be the toughest bit. You can obviously lubricate that up, whatever. I'm just going to use these little spacers and just work this back on. Hopefully be done in a couple of minutes. It's a bit tougher than it looks. So as you can hear, I'm just inflating this tyre. Once I got up to about 36 psi. So the wheel goes back on the reverse of how it came off. What I've done is I've put the sprocket back on, just hooked the chain back up on there, just making sure everything's lined up. It's really fiddly. You're going to need to use some wedges and be lifting the tyres and stuff like that. Make sure you've got plenty of grease on your axle. So the key to making this a little bit easier for yourself, I lifted this up by hand. I just wedged my legs under here, lifted it up, and I've put this in just only so far. I've got this little rubber wedge under here, little rubber hammer. Now I'm just going to check the other side and make sure everything's lined up at that side. Put this little, this keeps falling out. This sits up in here. You want to make sure that's in place before your axle goes through. So I'm just going to sort that now. Make sure everything's lined up as well, otherwise you're going to need to readjust the chain and all that sort of stuff. So I've got this in as far as here. It doesn't want to just get a shuffle in anymore. There's plenty of grease on here. But I'm just going to go around the other side and make sure everything's lined up at the other side. Then I'll pull it through. Nearly there. So again, on this side, I'm just using my body to wiggle this around. This is all the way through now. You see this? So just time now for washer and bolt. The other thing you need to be careful with this is there's a little, if you can see this in here, that's a little sprocket, the little axle nut. This fell out a couple of times, so had to kind of go back and start again. But once you get this in here, it's kind of holding it with one hand and pushing the axle through with the other hand. Plenty of grease on the axle makes it easier for you. When you're doing this as well, this is how you adjust your chain. There's one on the other side as well, so it's worth checking they've just not moved. But to adjust your chain, you're a little locking, but you just move these in and out, in and out, in and out. Now I don't think it's moved, but obviously once I've got this wheel back on, we'll have a look at it. So I held the axle on this side just to stop it from moving initially with this screwdriver. You just want to tighten this up on this side, and that is that. In some respects this job is easy, and in other respects it's an absolute faff. See, when you're putting that inner tube in, see if you're not careful and you nick it, you're going to give yourself a real headache, like I did. Alright, I didn't show it on camera there, but I created a puncture for myself, so I had to go repair that puncture and then go in. You've got to be really careful when you're putting your inner tube in. That's why you want to add a little bit of air in there, just so you're not nicking it as you go round. Now I know this tyre's done. It's done 5,000 miles. I've got new tyres I'm going to be ordering soon, so maybe in the comments you can tell me what you think good tyres might be. I was thinking the Pirelli MT60s. Who knows, but I'm looking for a good dual sport tyre. Maybe you can let me know. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. If you want to see another video, watch this here. See you in the next one.